People have told stories of the strange and supernatural for centuries. Tales of the restless dead return to haunt the living. Whispers of damned souls doing the devil's bidding on Earth. Rumors of inhuman things that still hunt the old forests, untouched by the glare of modern life. There may be more to these stories than you could ever imagine. Join us tonight as we delve into the deeper truth inside these mysteries.
Hello, and welcome to the realms of the supernatural. How the devil are you all? I'm Andy Macker.
And I'm Lee Solway. And Andy's back by popular demand.
Yes, I wasn't. Well, I did state it, Lee, that I wasn't going to retire completely from the show. I have got other stuff which I'm doing now, but I will every spare time I will jump in the seat and do a show.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's just time permitting, isn't it? That's the problem. It's like, obviously, I was away at the weekend doing some Bigfoot hunts.
Yeah.
Met up with Deborah Hatswell down there, and in Stafford, in Cannock Chase. I tell you, it's a fantastic area.
It's a hot spot.
It is a hot spot. Yeah, there's lots of paranormal shit goes on down there.
Psychic investigators. It's a kiddie in a goodie shop down there. They're all over the place. It's a massive area, though. The area is just absolutely huge to start from. I mean, it's got UFOs, it's got Dogman, it's got Bigfoot, it's got ghosts, orbs, everything. You name it, that place has got it. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're hoping to go. Well, we are going back there on the 31st of August, is it?
Last week in August, last Saturday in August, we're going for the night, aren't we? In the forest.
We shall report anything we find.
Yes.
But just in the short time I was there, because I mean, me and the missus went. We was only there for a few hours, and just in that little time that we was there, you know, we saw some strange things. Smelled some strange things. Should I say that? I mean, we went down one path, as I told you, but we went down this path, and there's been reports of this wild man, as they call him in the UK. And we get down this path, and it's got just above the path, probably about 10 feet ish. There's the kind of like a, I don't know, what would you call that? It's like a ridge above us. The path's been cut through the, you know, the rock face, if you like. So there's like a ridge above us, and on that ridge you could hear footsteps pacing us. Bipedal footsteps. As we was walking on a gravel path, and you could hear the footsteps crunch, crunch, crunch. And as we stopped, it stopped. And I said to her, "Is it just me, or can you hear that as well?" And she was asking me what was that. And so I said, "Right, when we walk, just listen up there." So we walked, started walking, maybe did a few paces, and as we walking, it did it again. This is broad daylight, by the way. This is not late at night. This is probably sort of afternoon time, probably 2:00ish. And anyway, we walked for a bit, stopped, it stopped. Then we walked again, we stopped, it stopped. Probably did that 4 or 5 times. And then I tried to get from the edge, you know, get back up so I could see up on top of there. And then I could see up there. There was a fence up there, but couldn't see anything moving. Anyway, after that, it didn't follow us. And so I think if there was something up there, it probably realised knew it was there. Anyway, walking down that path, and I think I took a photograph of it, that dummy up the tree. A baby's dummy, or what they say in the States, pacifier, is it? But this was up a tree, and now on that picture you can't tell, but I'm actually stood 2 foot-ish up a slope, and this is a slope, you know, it's almost vertical. And I'm stood up this slope, I'm just resting on the slope there, but I'm 2 foot off the ground, and that thing's probably above me, so it's probably getting on for 9 feet in the air.
Yeah.
And the dummy's actually hooked over a little branch. Now, people have told me that it could be crows that put it up there. Crows I could see taking, and magpies and shit like that. They take things up trees, don't they? Birds do take things up trees, but they don't hang them over a branch. And if you look closely at this picture, and I'll post it on the Hangout for those who want to see it, on Facebook. But if you look closely at the picture, you'll see that the branch it's on, the little twig, it's like a twiggy branch, is actually got a clump of leaves at the end. Yeah. So this dummy's been passed over those leaves. And I can't see a crow doing that. No. So obviously, there's only two things that could have done this. One of them being human. Why you'd want to do that, I don't know. But it's not out of the realms of possibility, so you have to say that. And then the other one is maybe the wild man. I don't know why you'd want to do it, but there you go.
It could be a marker.
Yeah, well,
possible.
The strange thing about that is walking down that path there, and the missus says, "Can you smell that smell?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "What does it smell like to you?" I didn't want to say, you know. So she said, "Stale BO, real strong stale BO." And I said, "Yeah, I can smell that." Anyway, we walked for a bit, and it went. And then we turned around because we was running out of time. We had to get to Derby for 5 o'clock. So we had to check in the hotels. And you have to be there by 5 o'clock. So I don't know why. I've already paid for the room. I don't know. But anyway, so we had to leave. So we was going to go back the way we came, so we knew we could make it back in time. And we started walking back down this trail. And as we walked back down this trail, just as we got to the end of it, the smell, that BO smell came back. And I mentioned to her, I said, this is one of the common reports that we get of this wild man here smelling this way. A lot of people say he smells like stale BO mixed in with urine.
Yeah.
Even the smell of rotten meat has been associated with it. Anyway, it came back, and I mentioned to her that it was commonly reported, and she got a bit freaked out by that, and we. Anyway, it was like I say, it was broad daylight, so we was going anyway, and we left the area. But speaking to some people afterwards, a few people have said to me that it could be wild boar. That smell could be wild boar. I imagine wild boar do stink.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've not been that close to one. I've been close to pigs, and they don't really.
No, I don't.
They don't smell a BO, do they? They smell like a farmyardy smell. But then again, I don't know if anyone's been in contact with wild boar. They could probably tell me better than I can. But it is a possibility. That's what it could have been. I'm not saying it was definitely something else, because I don't know. Unless you see something, you don't know, do you?
You don't know.
But I just thought it was interesting that we'd probably only been there a couple of hours, and these sort of things were happening. And this is broad daylight, and obviously when we go back, we'll be going back on a night time as well as the day. So,
well, we picked some spots where we'll definitely go back where you've been, Lee, where you and Laura went, and then we'll do a trek maybe some other areas. But night time again, as I said to you, I think shit will hit the fan. It's going to happen. Then we'll hopefully get a mixture of encounters, hopefully. And
the other thing,
I'll set up my night vision video camera. We've got my other equipment as well, so we'll be all ready for the night. So fingers crossed, we can have some stuff for the listeners.
I mean, the other thing about this forest as well, it's absolutely teeming with deer.
Yeah, you've got to be careful.
And you walk around there, you can walk around all day and not see one.
Oh, yeah.
But they are in there.
Yeah.
And obviously, with it being the UK, it's slightly different to the States, obviously, because we don't have natural predators to these things. We don't have wolves, we don't have bears, we don't have anything that's eating the deer, but it's still very timid of humans, but you just don't see them. But they are there. It is plentiful.
Yeah, I've seen a few deer on my travels.
Yeah, we've got 5 different types of deer in Lincolnshire.
Yeah.
But you hardly ever see them, do you?
No, very rare, mate. Very rare. I saw
the
one.
only time you see them is when they're dead, isn't it, on the road?
I saw one in Liverpool. Liverpool, yeah. I was near Southport. I was just coming in and it was a really big residential area. And it was right at the back near the garages. I just pulled over to deliver, and I see this little fawn. She'd only been, I don't know, 3-4 months old. And she just scampered from where I was through the garages. So there must be some into the woods. So very strange. But again, they're with all the deforestation now, what's happening there, you're forcing these creatures now to come out and find food.
That is going to be a problem going forward.
Definitely.
Right, so what we've got coming up then? We've got a couple of stories that we're going to go through.
Stories, yep.
Fairy one and...
Fairy ones, and I've got a pervy ghost one for you.
Pervy ghost.
A pervy one. Well, he's more than a pervy one. He's a bit of a touchy-feeler.
All right, don't spoil it.
Okay, well, I don't know.
Don't get the listeners excited.
Oh, then I'll leave it till last.
Some of them are driving.
I know.
And then we've got some other bits and bobs to cover, haven't we? I've got a story, which I'll play at the end from, I'm going to call him Bob.
Yep, Mr. B.
Interesting encounter. He had what you call a roadside crossing encounter. And then we discuss just a few other things that have happened as well, because I don't know, it's the paranormal portal. I don't know if this is a thing, but you get people who have one paranormal experience and then they have another one and another one and another one. Do you know what I mean? And then other people who don't have. I think we talked about a little bit of this with Joshua the other week.
Yeah, we did.
Then you have other people who don't see anything and never see anything, and they say to it seems strange that one person's had all these experiences and someone else hasn't, and then it's the case of where I can see as a skeptic you'd think, well, that he's just making that shit up because how come you've seen this, but I've never seen it. I was talking to a guy the other day on YouTube. I was watching this, I don't know if anyone else caught it, this well, when I was watching, there was only 95 people watching it, so I don't think there was many who knew it was on there. But it was one of these space. There was on it's a mission that they're planning to go to Mars. Okay, this was meant to be done in 1999.
Okay,
and they're still working on it. Which yeah. But anyway, getting past that, I watched it because I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But it's going to do it in different stages. So it's going to send this modular out there. This rocket was going to land, and that would have all the food, and that start producing chemicals to power the rocket's flight home. So the first one that went out would land 2 years before the astronauts got there.
Okay, yep.
And it would produce the chemicals. So basically, it'd be weightless when it went out, or very little weight in it, and then it produced the chemicals there and all the rest of it. And obviously, it'd carry the food and everything they're going to need. Then they send another one with all the shit, and then the astronauts would come, work there for 500 days, I think it was, and then jump back in this craft, and this craft will bring them home. It's all irrelevant when you've seen a UFO because, from my perspective, what I saw, and I still maintain that it was alien because I think it was. And I'm not going to tell you the story because everybody knows the story. I don't want to bore the ass off people, but I don't. But it knew what we was thinking. So I'm pretty sure that was alien intelligence. I'm not saying there was aliens on it, but it could be like a drone craft or, you know what I mean, some sort of scout ship. I don't know, but I'm not saying there was beings on it. I don't know if they can do that. You do get a lot of UFO cases. I'm going to tell one next episode about a strange encounter with these aliens, but I can't say for definite that aliens can send craft with beings on to other planets. Can they send craft to other planets? Absolutely, we can. It's not difficult.
Yeah,
we can send them to other planets with a firework. So if you've got better technology than that, then of course you can.
Basically, that's all we've got is fireworks.
Yeah, well,
nothing else.
That's what we're told.
Yeah, we're told. Yeah,
but this
behind
is
the scenes. Yeah, then they've got craft which they back engineered.
That brings me back to my point because I was talking to this guy on YouTube and he was saying about Mars and all the rest of it, and I was saying, well, it's kind of relevant when you've got anti-gravity craft, and this is just propaganda, obviously.
Yeah, of course it is. And
he was saying, put your tin foil hat back on and all that shit. And I was thinking, well, how thick have you got to be these days, right? When you've got, 36% of Americans, is it? Some now believe UFOs are real. I mean, a lot of people believe. I imagine that figure was a lot higher in the UK. But loads of people believe, and loads of people have seen this now, and most people you speak to now don't question that there will be life somewhere in the universe.
Yeah.
I think it was R.C. Clarke who said, either we're alone in the universe or we're not. Either possibility is extraordinary, and it really is.
Well, I think also it borders on, is there life after death? Is there more life? Are people more, aware of, is there life after death? More than is a life on other planets. This is what I'm saying. I think people now, with their views, I think they're more interested about themselves.
I've got some reviews to touch on it, but somebody did.
And also, can I just add, mate, that you will never ever, in my opinion, you will never ever get past the ring you shall not pass or the Van Allen belt with fireworks. Won't happen.
No,
never happen. You will not get past that Van Allen belt with fireworks. That's just my opinion.
Well, I think you can get past it.
No, you can't.
Whether you can,
there's too much radiation.
Yeah, whether you can survive the radiations and other.
Again, I understand with the moon landings and that, which I don't think never ever happened. I think it was staged, but that's just my personal opinion. Again, I don't think you can until certain powers come out and say, right, we have got this free energy now. Then we can start to step forward.
Well, I think
with technology, at the moment we're stuck.
I think we're on the cusp of that, to be fair.
Well, I mean, why would they release it, knowing that if it was released, then that'd be it. The hold on us would be gone. We wouldn't have to work. We have to work for food because you work for gas, for electric, and for everything else. Food. Yeah. Correct. Yeah. You could grow your own. With technology.
Well, we can grow your own now.
Yeah, no. Well, you can grow your own now. Yeah, you can grow your own. But what I'm saying is for that you need again fuel, petrol, diesel. You know, to get around, you've got to pay for that.
The artificial meat soon, anyway.
Well, that'd be fantastic.
Anyway, do you want to hear some folklore?
Go on.
I've got a question on that. I'll come back to it.
We'll come back to it. It's a rant day anyway. We're going to talk about everything today.
So this is the Amphilafmore.
You spell that right? Is that Welsh?
Well, that's Gaelic.
Okay. Then.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
So yeah, more or less. Yeah, Scottish Gaelic. Yeah.
Well,
This is Scottish folklore. Okay, which basically that translates into big grey man, and this is the big grey man of Ben Macdui.
Ben Macdui,
which is a mountain
in Wales,
in Scotland.
Scotland, sorry. Do apologise.
Yeah, Scottish folklore.
Scottish folklore. Okay. Just sounded Welsh or something. I don't know why it sounded Welsh.
It's in the Cairngorms, which is the second highest peak in Scotland. Okay. Now, stories have been coming off this particular mountain range for hundreds of years about this big grey man that's said to be up there. Now, a lot of people think this could be a Bigfoot type creature.
Okay.
Other people think it's more of a spiritual creature. And then obviously the overwhelming majority of people think it's bullshit.
Well, spiritualism, why spiritual?
Well, just
it appears and reappears.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like a...
Yeah, it's not physical.
Okay. You know? Yeah, got you.
A lot of people think that this is just all in your imagination because obviously when you're up in the mountains and it's foggy and it's cold and you start to...
the altitude and...
It starts to play on people's minds, but...
Again, it's that kind of area where, you're going to...
Yeah.
I mean, I watched a few videos the other night. That's quite funny. It was bullshit. But people, had thousands of views on it, so...
See, the descriptions, what people see vary so much that it makes you wonder if they are seeing something. Because obviously, with them varying that much, you tend to think, well, if they're all saying the same thing, then there's some. Yeah, but when so you've got most describe it as being large. Okay, so we're talking 10 feet tall.
Okay.
Oh, and some say that it had olive toned skin with long arms and broad shoulders. And obviously, like I say, other people describe it having fur as well. People have seen footprints of it in the snow, this kind of thing. And most people hear it before they see it. So they'll be in camp and they'll hear the footsteps coming towards and that kind of stuff. It is known to pace you, like I was talking about earlier. So as you walk, it paces with you, which is again does come up in these Bigfoot sightings.
Yeah, but most of the Bigfoot you won't hear it coming.
No. So this is the first recorded encounter with the Amphilafmore is reported in 1891. Okay, but it was not made public until 1925.
Okay,
and this is by the noted climber J. Norman Colley. Okay. And he recounted a terrifying experience that he had endured while along near the summit of Ben Macdui. He said, I began to think I hear something else than merely the noise of my own footsteps. For every few steps I took, I heard a crunch, then another crunch, as if someone was walking after me, but taking steps 3 or 4 times the length of my own. Says Colley wasn't able to make out the source of the noises because of the mist. Okay, he continued. The eerie crunch and crunch sounded behind me. I was seized with terror and took to my heels, staggering blindly among the boulders for 4 or 5 miles. So this sense of fear as well, this is common. But again, you're up the mountain, a lot of these people on their own. Obviously, it's a wild wilderness. You're there, all the thoughts running through your head, and then you've got the fog coming in as well. It's dark.
So then it's kind of panic.
Yeah,
sets in a little bit.
They get this when they hear this, they know straight away. There's some, and you'll hear this time and again with Bigfoot sightings as well, where people get this overwhelming sense of fear before they've even seen anything. Sometimes,
well, that's natural, isn't it, for us to have that? It's your senses picking up and it's getting ready for fight or flee.
It's something we don't have.
It's an inbuilt kind of device, isn't it?
Yeah, but normally that takes precedent after you've seen something, doesn't it? So
I mean,
I feel like if a lion steps out of a bush, then you get it.
You'd know it. Well, you know with
but you don't necessarily get it before you've heard the bush rustle.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, if the bush is rustling, then yeah, they're going to get it. But a lot of people get this sense of being watched, or I'm not welcome here, or that kind of stuff, without even seeing anything. You know.
Yep.
And this happens in most of the cases up Ben Newton. And I'll give you some examples of people who have had this, and then when they've come off the mountain, they've said, well, maybe it was this, maybe it was that. But all in those accounts, they've always had this strange presence feeling, you know, this feeling of being watched, this feeling of uncomfortable, you know, really uncomfortable. I shouldn't be here. And like him, you know, this guy he's basically gone all over the world climbing mountains, and he gets up there, he feels so scared, he has to run off the mountain. Run off the mountain.
See, maybe that's a two-way thing between him and the creature. Possible.
Yeah.
Keep away from my patch.
It says Colley's account was reported in local press and followed by correspondence on the subject. Norman G. Forbes reported that he had heard mysterious clanking noises while climbing in the summer mist. It proved to be 2 deer. Okay, so this is one, you know, obviously he heard this noise, his mind was racing. It turns out to be 2 deers rutting.
Did he see 2 deers running?
Yeah. Rutting, you know, banging heads together.
Oh, so that's what it was.
That's what the clanking was.
Right, okay.
But when you're up in the mountain, right, see, the other thing about being up in the mountain, obviously, the noise is going to travel.
Of course it is, yeah. Yeah.
But he does say that the Cairngorms, they do have an uncanny power of inducing the feeling of eeriness. The mind is alone in these lonely places and creates many things out of its imagination, yeah? Another climber, this is 1904, a guy called Hugh D. Walsh, heard unexplained slurping footsteps.
Ooh.
Slurring footsteps. So I guess there must have been...
Kind of dragging.
Yeah, or maybe it was
footsteps, kind of some stuff. Yeah.
Snowfall.
Possible.
I guess there would be up in Ben McDowell anyway.
Yeah.
And he had the feeling of apprehension as well. Another worker up there, mountain rescue guy, by Peter Densham, he heard crunching noises, okay, and he was overcome by a feeling of apprehension. Another noted climber, Richard Fair, he had the feeling of a presence, utterly abstract but intensely real. An intensely high singing. He also heard an intensely high singing note. Okay, so a lot of people report whistling.
Yeah. Well, we know. Yeah, we. In
that range itself, there's a lot of accounts of fairies. And a lot of people say that they knew they was there because they heard the whistling first, and then they looked across and then they see the fairies, and then obviously when they realise they vanish. Okay, another account, 1958. An account was published in the Scots magazine by naturalist and mountaineer Alexander Twenion. In October 1943, I spent 10 days. I spent a 10-day leave climb alone in the Cairngorms. One afternoon, just as I reached the summit of Cairn of Ben McNewy, a mist swirled across and enveloped the mountain. The atmosphere became dark and oppressive. A fierce bitter wind whisked among the boulders. An odd sound echoed through the mist, a loud footsteps it seemed, then another and another. The strange shape loomed up, reached, and came charging at me. Without hesitation, I whipped out my revolver and fired 3 times at the figure. When it still came on, I turned and hurried down the path, reaching Glenderry in a time that I will never better. You may ask, was this really Fairlaugh Moor? Frankly, I think it was.
Ooh. So the revolver didn't stop it then?
No. So, you know, I've read accounts of guys hearing these footsteps behind them, racing off the mountain, and then it's the flask, you know, in the backpack.
Yeah.
So as he's walking.
Yeah. All right.
You know,
yeah.
And then if you're in snow...
Yeah.
You know, I can see where But that because his mind's racing now, he's thinking all these things. And he's got this as he's taking steps. He's hearing this behind him. It's almost like that's a bottle of whiskey, by the way.
Yeah, no.
So not quite the same as a flask, but you get the general impression. I can see the mind playing tricks on you there. Okay, but then he states he had and remember this guy's been up there. Well, that's sorry, you don't know, but. In this case, the guy had been up that mountain more than once. Okay. And this is the only time he ever had that experience, that dread. Other, obviously, hallucinations, brought on by exhaustion, this kind of thing. To some extent, yeah. But one of the most common plausible explanations, if you like, is this Brocken Spectre. Okay. Now, the Brocken Spectre, you can see in this picture here, and I'll put some of these pictures up on the Hangout so people can look at them, is essentially, obviously it's German word for mountain ghost, if you like.
Or mountain spectre.
Yeah. So, this is where your shadow is cast. So you're up a mountain, obviously sometimes, at some points during the day, the sun's going to be lower than you are.
Yeah.
Okay? Which is uncommon. You won't get this in your day-to-day life, but as it's shining up, with the mountains being misty at the top there, your shadow is cast on the backdrop of the clouds.
Right, okay.
The mist. So what you'll get is this impression where you'll get this figure, which is obviously tall. And remember, a lot of people were saying this thing was 10 feet tall. So it's your shadow being cast against the cloud, and then it also has this halo effect around it. And people see this and think it's some sort of creature, and they go. They don't realise it's their own shadow.
Right. It's possible.
Yeah, possible. It's definitely possible. And some people do realise.
Not very often.
Do realise it's their own shadow, and then obviously. But this is the most common explanation for what's going on Benwick Nui. Is the Brocken Spectre. Now, no shadow in the world, right? Now, this is obviously an unusual shadow. I grant you that, but it ain't going to make footstep sounds.
No.
Okay, when you're sat drinking your piss and eating your fried rat on a mountaintop, that ain't gonna make noises. No. Brocken Spectres can happen if given the right conditions, the right lighting, and the right backdrop. Can happen anyway. Obviously, this is a case where it happened in a street here, car headlights. Okay, then you've got planes.
Yeah.
Now that'd be quite eerie to see. So you're looking up in the sky and you see this like a dark, which is essentially a shadow of a plane moving across the skyline, and it just vanishes at some point, and people would get quite alarmed by that. But obviously, that is being cast by a plane that's further back. You might not even see the actual plane. It's just a shadow projected up in the sky. I don't know if.
No, I think most of them are. Very, now and then it'll be a shadow and what you said it is going to be, but most of it is creatures do live on them. We know creatures live on the mountains.
Well, like I say, there is
many
pictures
times.
of footprints,
and the government just give you something to say, look, it's all your imagination. Don't be silly. But they're on there, on all mountains in the Alps and the Andes. How many stories we heard from the Andes about, the Bigfoot and the Yowie and whatever, mate?
Well, I think...
I think it's rife.
I think if
you can't close that information down.
If we're taking, that the Bigfoot creature in the UK, I think it is some sort of surviving population of Neanderthals, even because the footprints in the UK are very different to footprints you get elsewhere in the world. They are more like a human footprint, obviously just slightly bigger, but not vastly massive, not like the ones that you get in the States and that. So I think we're looking at like a relic hominid, possibly Neanderthal. Now, if you look where modern humans chased Neanderthals to, they chased them to the mountains, they chased them to the woods where we didn't go, the heavy forests, and that's where they're reported today. Obviously, you can't rule out that it's people's imagination, this such thing, but when you've got so much evidence, I mean, I was looking at these footprints that have been caught in the UK, And I'll put... no, Deborah did a little thing on this the other day, and I'll put it up on the Hangout so people can have a look. This is just in the UK, but some of the footprints that have been... pictures of footprints in the UK just... it's just really weird.
Again, I've always said, and I think you agreed with me as well, humans came from Bigfoot, not from apes, but that's crap, that's idiocy. We are more related to Bigfoot than apes. Never will be. We came from Bigfoot.
Well, I was looking...
where we actually were... Again, we'll maybe do a show on it one day.
Yeah, I was watching something on YouTube
DNA splice.
a few weeks ago, and it was Grover Krantz, I think it was, who was talking about this, and he was saying that if you look at the lineage, so you've got if you've got the family tree, and where all these things break off, and he was saying because you've got the apes, okay, which are quadrupeds. Then you've got us at the top of this branch. Well, somewhere in between, he said the Bigfoot, if it's around, if it does exist, which he thinks it does, so he's looked at the footprints, etc. But he would say that it was somewhere, it would be in between us and the apes because it's bipedal. So we're bipedal, they're bipedal. So at some point, obviously, they do retain the ability to go on all fours as well. But he thinks on the spectrum, he thinks that they're closer to us than we are to the apes. So
we create. I mean,
we seem to make sense.
We'll do a show on this one day. I'll have a good talk on it. But it's only my opinion, and what research I've done all over the years. Man created the apes. We didn't come from apes. We created it. But again, that's another story. But I do believe that we
created the apes.
We created the apes. Yes. Well, it's, if you look at the stories and all the stuff from Atlantis and from Lemuria, you'll go from man's real past. If you look at today, we're more animal, but we're spiritual beings. We're not animals. We was never meant to be animals, and we create things. We're all magicians.
I think you've come out with some bullshit.
No, mate.
You've come out with some bullshit in the past, but that's got to be right up there. We created the apes.
We created, we created apes, mate. We created animals.
I'm not sure about that one.
If you know your true history in Atlantis and what they could done, what they really did, it's amazing.
I could say the same to you.
Why was all these stories came from the Greeks. You think you got Minotaur, you got the mermaids, you got all these mythical creatures. They never existed in Greece. They existed in Atlantis. The stories came from Atlantis, which went down to the Greeks. The Minotaur was built to plough the lands. The mermaid was created to bring all the fish from the
Shocking.
seas. Shocking. That's truth, mate. Well, again, people want to stick in there in their own little...
Where are they now?
What?
Why aren't they ploughing the fields now?
Oh, there was no need, was there?
We still grow crops now.
Yeah, well, again,
It'd be a lot cheaper than a tractor.
Well,
some of them tractors, I was looking the other day, I don't ask me why I was looking, but some of them tractors run at like upwards of 100 grand.
Well, it's a tractor, mate, isn't it? So, in them days, mate, again, it was all energy, it's all like that. The crystals in them days.
Anyway.
Yeah, again, we could do something for a show.
Yeah, let's not.
I'll bring all the information in.
Yeah.
And then, if people want, just, put a poll on.
Yeah, all right, I will. And it'll be overwhelmingly.
Absolutely,
no.
Mate, I'm telling you, mate.
I will. Anyway, tell me about this shagging ghost, whatever it was.
Oh, you want the pervy ghost?
Yeah.
Or do you want the fairies? I thought you were going to do a story on the fairies. Can I do this? Can I do this? This is truth, right? Mm-hmm. Can I just do this one about this do-it-yourself exorcism?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because
that tends to be the way it's done nowadays, isn't it? I mean, a lot of people
do it yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, go online. What do I need? Oh, you need some salt. Stand in a circle. Do.
Well, again, I mean, this actually happened.
To me,
it was actually 10 minutes from us, wasn't it?
With all these rituals and things that people do, I think it's more intent. If these things are real, it's intent. Like if you have a ghost in your house or you're ever being haunted. Now, a lot of this, see, we've got a bit of a problem here because some ghosts are ghosts, right? And then what we accept as like a ghost. Some ghosts are created by us, or some of the things that happen that we interpret to be ghosts are created by us. So,
well, yeah, that's true. That's partly true.
Yeah. So when things are happening, you say, stop, and then it stops.
Not all the time.
Not all the time, but, but when it does, then I think maybe that's because it's you that's creating it.
No,
not
all the time.
Getting back control of your energy, your mind, or whatever.
If you've been really had a few bad months and you're really down, depressed, and you've got negative thoughts, it actually brings in negative emotions and negative spirit. I've seen it, and I've seen it firsthand, and I've seen these things, and they're not very nice. And I've seen people who've gone through it, and it's not very nice. Again, it's that they will start to influence you to do things. I mean, again, I'm not saying any names, but I know there's people. I actually met them and lovely people. I ain't seen them for a few years now. But this certain girl actually, and their partner was actually influenced by these negative, because was going through a stage of taking drugs, any drug that went, and there was lovely people, but all of a sudden they just went nutty. It ended up he was strangling her, trying to kill her. Now, it wasn't him doing it. It was the negative influenced him to do it, you see. I'm afraid, unfortunately, she ended up in a home for the mental things.
Mentally ill.
Mental ill. But they still followed her. They never stopped.
That doesn't surprise me.
I'm not saying, you can say, I'll move house, or if I'll move. Right. They'll follow you. It's not the house they're interested in. They're interested in you because they're feeding off you. This is the only psychic vampires. I know you see all
maybe
they are psychic vampires. They feed
maybe she was generating it. This is what I'm saying.
They have to do something to generate it.
No, I'm saying that these ghosts are generated by us.
No,
because you got the poltergeist situations, which is
but most of the time that's not. It's not. They say it's like a girl come to puberty. I don't believe in that. I think it's bullshit.
Oh, I do.
No, I don't think so. They'll come in a certain time. It could be anything. They move into a house. I mean, there's a story I heard again the other day, and this is quite common. It's quite. I understand it. Every time somebody moved, this couple moved in next door. Yeah, moved next door.
Yeah.
And they've been in a house for a year. Fantastic, right? Also, somebody else moved in the other side, okay? That's fine, like 6 months. 8 months later, right, they renovated the basement, okay? They were doing some work in it, shit at the fan. Fucking windows open, everything coming in. So something's housed, somebody can actually stay in that basement for hundreds of years. Once it's knocked out, the energy is released. So it's like, whoa. Energy can be housed and stayed there until somebody releases it.
There was a case which goes against what I was just saying there, but this is an example of what I would say is a real ghost. I think there's I don't want to say imagine ghost. What I don't mean people. I'm just imagining it out of thin air. I mean people are making the spirit themselves, which
is possible.
Yeah. So there's like an imagined ghost like that, and then there's a real what you see. Again, I'm using the word real. I'm using the word real loosely. Okay, real ghost, right?
Stuff.
But an example of a real ghost was one at the Nunsthorpe estate. You remember where there was a house, and this is
70s.
Sort of say concentrated ground. It used to be a monastery, didn't it? And
was it late 70s, Lee? Was it early 80s?
Yeah, it would be 70s.
Yeah, 70s, middle 70s. And
essentially what happened is they built a housing estate on this ground. The Willows is the same, and that's terrible for monks,
Willows is
this kind of stuff.
Willows is rife, but it's on marshland, isn't it?
There's two estates essentially, Nunsthorpe Estate, Willow Estate, and they're both built where there used to be monasteries, this kind of thing, and the people have had no end of problems for years, still ongoing.
Yeah.
But this particular house on the Nunsthorpe Estate here in Grimsby happened. It was a semi-detached house, I'll say. So 2 houses that obviously built together, and then they have no neighbours. It was like an end of a block, wasn't it?
Yeah, I remember.
And the family lived
where it is now.
Yeah, the family lived on the left-hand side of this property.
It's on the corner, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was on the corner. And
that's right.
They'd lived there for a few months, and then they started getting little things happening, things going missing, this kind of stuff, and then it escalated into where they'd see a face in the telly, turn the telly off, and the face would still be there, laughing at them and grimacing and all the rest of it. They sent for a priest. Priest came and started blessing the house, holy water, all that stuff, and it made things worse.
I wonder why.
Yeah, I think.
Come with his crucifix. Come on, lads.
They stuck it for a few months, and and it became violent.
Yeah.
I think the priest came back a second time, and it actually launched the TV at him.
I'm not surprised.
So
it gave him power.
The doors slamming on people, all sorts of stuff. Eventually, they moved out. They couldn't hack it no more. Moved out. Then another family moved in, and they moved out within a week. And then another family moved in, they moved out in a week. And eventually, word got around, and no one had lived in this house.
No.
The price came down for. I think it was a council house anyway, but no one could live in this house. After a few months of it being vacant, the spirit, moved next door and started haunting the family next door. First they started was the electrical problems, this kind of thing. The lights would go on and off, doors would slam. They'd have electricians out. They check remember, this is a pretty new house at the time, so they check the electrics and that.
Yep.
Obviously everything was fine, but then they started getting this face in the TV.
Yep.
And it, we're talking to them while they're trying to watch telly. This face would just appear. And do you remember that where that alien came on broadcast on telly?
Yeah, that was on BBC One.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. On BBC One, it was
I think it was all the channels.
All channels.
I think it was.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
From Zag, was it Planet Zag or something?
I'll have to find a video of it, but
I've got it. I can find it.
Yeah.
We'll stick on the Hangout.
Yeah. Because
I can't remember that.
They were saying that for that to happen, someone had to hack into the BBC's. It must have been the BBC. Hack into the BBC's frequency or whatever it is, and to generate that much power to be able to do that.
Remember, you had written in them days. It wasn't. It wasn't. It was just normal radio. There's nowhere.
Yeah, this is not like
not digital now, was it?
No, this is what I mean. This is not like just tuning into someone's radio.
It's like a CB.
Yeah,
CB. We get
but this is different, isn't it? When you're looking at picture and all the rest of it.
You've got a big area.
To do it, they said the power you'd need to do that was unreal.
Yeah, you had to go through all the maths.
They still can't work out to this day how that happened. Anyway, what was I saying about this house? Oh yeah, so the family next door, they start getting a lot of the same problems.
Yep.
Eventually, they moved out, and a family moved in and moved straight out, and moved straight in and straight out, and eventually they actually tear the houses down.
Yeah, leveled them.
They leveled them.
So did you see the pattern there? Did you see the pattern there when you were saying about? And where was the ghost going in from that to that to that to that? Did you see the pattern? To feed. That's it.
Oh yeah. He was following.
That's why you get the face on the television comes on. Yeah, you go, oh, God, I've got this. I'll put this on the Hangout. I bought this this morning. I go to mind, body, and spirit events all around the country, and we're actually going next month, aren't we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm going
to drag Lee around and introduce some spiritual friends, and you might learn something. Anyway, in here I've got. This is mine. Okay, I'm showing Lee a photo of my. There's a. I don't think he's there now. It was Jerry. I think it's another guy who does it. But he's actually got a camera which, takes a picture of your aura. And
yeah, I've seen this.
Yeah, the picture of your aura depicts your well-being. Mm-hmm. So anything you do to your physical affects your spirit body. So anything you do to your spirit body affects your physical, vice versa, whatever. So your well-being gives off a different colour. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
surely we give off some sort of electromagnetic field.
Yeah. Well,
which they'll call an aura. Yeah.
Yeah. An aura. Well, your aura is your spirit body.
Well.
Okay. But it's different. The spirit body, or don't matter what it is. Your body. The aura. The other spirit body is what you take with you to your next life in the spirit world. Okay.
Right.
Well, again, I'm not going because you take the piss.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to keep this brief.
Yeah.
So as you see there, I'm going to put this on Hangout, put my picture, and you'll see all different colours. So that there, right, is my aura in different. Because you've got some purple there. Look, you've got a bit of green there, and all the red.
Did you have two taken at once?
No, just one. Just one.
See, with that
again, you see, I got me. Remember.
But if you'd gone in and had that one right, then gone in 10 minutes later,
it'd been the same.
Well, would it though?
Well, I don't know.
No, we don't know.
Well, sometimes with this colour, you get that purple. Here, you maybe see a face or something because a spirit is coming close to your aura or your spirit. No. Again, I have.
Right.
I have seen that.
Let's just go through the colours. Anyway, I am interested in what it means. Yeah, I am interested.
Again, mine is red and I've got a bit of purple. But the red, it says ambition, motivation, vitality, a challenge, strong emotions, willpower, intensity, and that's it. I've got down here. I've got indigo, a bit of indigo there, right? So that's inspired, teacher, devotion, structure, mind expansion, meditation, mastery, blah blah blah. intuitive, sensitive. So then I got a bit of purple. Is that a bit of purple down there? A bit of purple?
So, yeah.
So I don't know what
Although
that means.
I'm not sure what the difference between indigo and purple is. And
Well, again,
this scale, but
yeah, but that's what it down there.
Yep.
Altruistic, sacrifice, sensitivity, visionary, artistic, nobility, working with the senses, snobbish. I'm not fucking snob.
Well.
I don't think so. Spiritual haughtiness. Now, what's that mean? Is that like, I don't know what that means, mate. Self-obsession, ungrounded, victim, martyr, daydreamer. Yeah, I'll definitely go for that. A thought with that action? Yeah, definitely, yeah. Futuristic? No. But as you see, white, if you had a white oil, it'd been faith, prayer, guidance, connection to source, seclusion, mental, and all these different colours. So what I'm saying is, and I will put this on the Hangout, and we're going again.
what if you had no aura?
What do you mean?
Has anybody used this camera and photograph a dead body?
I don't know. No, I'm never. Again, it only works on. Again, I think if you did it on a dead person, you'd get nothing.
Well,
the camera was.
Well, if that's what it's working,
definitely,
then
yeah, because there's nothing there. The aura's gone. The spirit body's gone. It's gone to its other place. I mean, my sister, bless her, she had one, and all hers was fucking all different colours. There's no red. It was just I'll see her husband see if I can get older because she'd had one with me. But hers was completely different to mine. Hers was purple, indigo, orange. It's just whoa! It was much brighter than mine. But again, if when we go in a few weeks, if this guy's still here, take one, and then maybe we can talk on the show about it. Because remember, this is 24th of the 1st, 11. This is 8 years ago. So when I go this time, mine could be different. Mm. But what I'm saying is, when you get a negative, that you're giving off every day different sparks of energy.
Can that be changed?
Yeah, if your thought can change that. You know, if you're.
So what's the point in that then? That's what I'm getting at.
The point of this.
Yeah.
So it tells you your state of mind at the time being.
Right.
That'll tell you your state of mind.
But there all seems to be good shit on there.
Well, if I was going through shit, then it'd become. Well, I mean, we'll look at some here, any crap ones.
No, it's like a horoscope, isn't it?
Yeah, hang on, a yellow.
You don't get a horoscope that says you're going to lose £100 today.
Well, again, there'll be different things. Turquoise, like calmness, change, speak up for self, taking responsibility, interest in healing therapy, lack of ambition, confusion, responsible for others. So it's all different. Again, but again, this really, it depends on your colours. You can maybe change that, but I'm saying with negative, they come in, and when you're afraid, when you're scared, you give off a different kind of colour, and these feed off it, like vampires. So they come and not tell you his face on the screen. Whoa, wow, boom, feeding time at the zoo, and that's what they do. That's why they go to house. They get bored, and I've seen this at first hand. I've seen it, mate. I have seen what they do, and it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible, So they go in mental homes, right? They think they're mental. It's not. They're sane, but this thing has taken over them, and they attach to your aura, and it's fucking horrible trying to get them off. I've seen it.
Could be, or it could work the other way.
Again, I know what you said.
Where your brain's out of kilter.
Your brain is a computer for mind.
Well, this is what
your mind is king.
It could work the other way, where your brain's out of kilter, and then you're generating these so-called beings.
Why would you generate them for? What do you
mean? Chemical imbalance, whatever it is that causes them.
Again, if you, I see spirit, and I see stuff, and I sense spirit. What I still do. So is mine a chemical imbalance in my brain? No, I'm seeing what I'm seeing, mate, and I know what I'm seeing. I know what I'm sensing.
You would be seeing it, but that doesn't mean that it's real.
Of course, it's real.
No,
I know it's real.
Because you can have hallucinations. You wouldn't say they was real, would you?
No, but again, hallucinations through what? Through drugs, yes. You can have hallucinations through drugs.
For all sorts of stuff.
Not really, no.
Like we said before, exhaustion.
No, not really, no. I've never...
infrasound.
Since I've been little, I had a fantastic imagination. IMF. Yeah, again, possible. But what I've seen in my life has never, ever been illusions. I've sensed them. I've sensed them, and when someone's pushing you, pulling the covers off you, is that illusion? No, I don't think so.
But that's what I mean. That's where it crossed the line into actually being something.
Yeah. And I've always had that interaction. I've always had that. I've always had that thing where you've had it, Lee, as well. You've had many good experiences as well, mate. And you know they're not illusions. You know that.
But I can't categorically say that I didn't cause it.
No, you didn't, did you?
But I can't say that though.
No, I'm saying
because these things happen. But like when an object moves across the room, which I've had a few times in that spare room. I've walked in there and it sounded like someone had put like a brick in a washing machine. It was a bit bouncing about, bang, 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 and that's what it was doing in there. A stick was just flying around the room, bang, 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 bang. But I was the only person in the house. Walked in and then it stopped. But I don't know that was a spirit doing that. I don't know if it was me generating it.
No, because you didn't think of that, did you? Your thought pattern is you're going to come and do it.
Yeah, but I don't know
when you come in and you hear it. It's like mentally you haven't caused that because you haven't thought about that spare room. What's going to be in the spare room? So you haven't do it. It's spirit again. What I'm saying is, again, it's where people go wrong. Is that when when someone passes away, they're all mist and they're all a sheet and all that. It's crap. It's bullshit. You're physical. You got weight. And how come in then when you're in a house and you hear someone come up the stairs, the floorboards that creaking? How now they've got physical weight? How? They've just come in the atmosphere, right? How can they have physical weight? Because they've still got a physical body out the ether. Again, we'll do another show on this, mate. But what I'm saying is, these beings, these spirit beings, right? They are more physical than me and you. And you might laugh at me. You might say, yeah, whatever. They have more physical weight than me and you, and they are not. They're more free than us. They've got no bills to pay. They don't have to pay any bills. They don't have to do jobs. They can go anything wherever they want within reason. They're more free than we will ever be. And this is just again, I heard about somebody the other day again, somebody walking out the door, I can't remember what story it was, someone was telling me, it's online. Somebody walks out the door, bang, and they're out there and they're watching these coaches, horses, back in the 1800s, bang, and they're freaking out, they go back in the door, and they open the door again, and it's gone back to normal. So
like Mr. Ben.
Mr. Ben, you step out, and it's they're all in different costume, and this person is going, what's going on? And again, the same thing, they don't see he's there. Nobody stops them and go, oh, you're just crap.
Where did this house come
they
from?
Never, they just walk past him like he's never there. So he's stepped in a time bubble, and he's run in. This is from, I can't remember his name. This guy I was talking to the other day online. This is in America, by the way. He just walked out his door. He was doing something. He was rushing out. He was late for something. And he's about like bye, and he opened the door, and that bang, it was horses, people in 1800 period costume, old shops, buildings, and again he said they just walked past him. He wasn't there. Didn't exist. So again, my take on this, again, I think we did a show on it last year, didn't we, about this, didn't we? The past, the present, the future are working all together. Again, you did a poll on it, didn't you, about me? It's because it said I was a nutter.
Basically.
Because my theory, again, if this is a classroom, which it is, this Earth is planet, it is a classroom, it is.
No.
It is. Every planet is a classroom.
No.
You learn different lessons. Okay, yeah. My take, yeah, call Andy loony, I'm a loony, yeah. Possible I might take me away. What I'm saying is the past, the present, the future. What if, right? Okay, far out. I'm going to go for this now, right? If you could go if you say you passed away tomorrow, okay, and you was in the spirit world, right? Said, right, your next life. So I'll not come down yet, okay. But when you do, you've got to have experiences. So then you've got.
Then it's all preordained and pointless.
No, you pick it.
Yeah.
Not anybody else. You and you hire yourself. You pick your next life.
What's the point?
What stops you picking going back to the past?
What's the point, though, when the universe is going to end at some point?
It'll never end.
It will.
No, it will not. It's only what you've been conditioned when you're born. When you were born, right, we was never meant, again, this is my opinion, was never meant to eat meat. But when we was little, we was eating meat. Why? If you ate greens from birth upwards, right?
You'd be really pale.
No, you
probably
wouldn't. You'd
really
be healthy,
sick. Yeah.
right? But because it was conditioned, right? So that you was told you eat meat, so you ate it because you
was
thought
told
it
to
was
eat
the
my
norm.
greens.
So someone said to you, the
eat my
universe
greens.
got to end one day. It's
It was
exactly
the
same,
vegetables they couldn't get me to eat.
mate. No.
Yeah,
Well,
it was. You put a plate full of vegetables in front of a kid.
He'll eat it. Mate.
It won't.
If he's hungry,
It
he
won't.
will eat it.
It
I'm
won't.
telling you now, mate. He will eat it.
So you put 2 fish fingers down and a sausage and some veg. They're going to go for the
The
veg.
child will just eat it.
Eat your greens.
No, we will eat it.
No.
He's conformed to it, mate. Anyway, the past, the present, the
No.
future. My
agree.
take on this, and again, this is what I think happens, and and I will try and get some more research in this because I want to make a show of this and try and prove it. My theory is that if you can go home, right, you go home for a while there. When you come back, you can go have a life in the 1800s
Well,
and live like that. Again, why would time have passed? So this guy's gone out from his door, right? He's gone in, and it's still. Now you're saying to me that past has gone. No, it hasn't. It's still going.
No, well,
it's still going around. So you can. Remember, did you watch that program years ago called Quantum Leap?
I don't know.
He jumps from life to life in different
I don't know
time
how
periods.
to explain that because you get many accounts of time slips, which we've covered before.
Yeah, but
and
they're
we'll
still
probably
going
do
on.
it again. So people do, and they do have interactions with these things. I mean, that
yes,
case
you do.
there.
Yeah, of course you do. Some you don't. Some you do.
Some you do. So
Yeah, but if you go in the past, you're a ghost. Yeah. Remember that time we had that couple on, and he was on about he went into that room. There was an old lady in there. What she was seeing was him, but he was a ghost.
yeah.
So she freaked out. So
Yeah, because late, a few months later, she died.
Yeah.
and they saw her sitting in that chair that
Correct.
she'd seen them.
Yeah.
and they were shadow people to her.
Correct.
So she just got a glimpse of the future.
Correct.
Yeah, after
it's
she died. Yeah.
because it's all still going. So I think when you pick your life again, you can go back to the 1600s, be born in the 1600s or the 1700s, depending on what you've got to learn. Same with the future. I mean, I was listening to David Wilcock 2 years ago, and he's on about these people. Again, we've been on about Lee. These people, the government now. What's it called? Who went in that boat and they went back to the future. 30, 40 or something. They said we did go to that time period. Okay,
Philadelphia, wasn't it?
the Philadelphia experiment. Okay, and they went to was it 2550 or something like that. Wasn't it? Something, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We'll take that with a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
Because I'm not about that. But again, he's gone to the future, but they've accepted it. Because they in the future know that time travel exists, so they will know there's actually time. Again, it's in the films. That John Van Damme one is a time traveling cop. Remember that years ago?
No.
Well, yeah, all right. But I'm saying
I've only watched. I don't know. I've done John.
Jean Van Damme. Yeah. But he did one. It was a futuristic time because the people who was jumping, he was after them.
Right.
So that again, the movie was telling you. But this guy who went through to the Philadelphia experiment. Many people didn't make it. He made it there, and he ended up in his room, and they kept him in the room. They did not want him to go outside. They knew where he was from. So again, I'm saying he can go to the future. So the future's going. The past
So he
is
never
going.
got to see the outside.
Well, he did in the end. He said he went to again. I can't remember. It was sketchy. He got me. He managed to get back.
Right.
This way he told the story.
Right.
I will get the article as well. I'm trying to. I'm not because it is sketchy.
It is.
But he did say he was in the hospital room for days and days and days, and the windows was he was looking. It's all futuristic, whatever. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Beam me up, Scotty.
Yeah. But why? What I'm saying is, would you think it's possible, right? If spirit really existed, which it does, but oh my god, yeah, it all exists, and you came to do your next life, would you believe, right, that you can go back to any time period and be born in it now?
No.
So we've got now 2019,
Yeah.
right? So say you've been on Spirit World 3 years. So you say 2023, okay, and you work out all that. So well, you must need these experiences. You've got to go back to 1705, right? And you've got to be
No, because what you're going to learn?
more.
I don't get it.
No,
No, I
because
don't get it.
in them times.
No,
you can't
I
listen
think
now.
I think if you take the choice out of it, I think if you saying
choice is there.
if you're saying you die and then your energy gets put back into a body somewhere, and you can't
got to
choose
learn.
where it is.
Say you've got to learn it. Got to really. Say you was a.
I mean, we can look back in the past, can't we?
Look at nowadays. So nowadays,
light is energy. So right. So when we look at a star, right, we could be looking at a star that.
Well, we look at the sky.
That went to supernova. Past. Yeah, exactly. So we can look at a star that went to supernova a million years ago, yeah?
Yeah.
But we're still looking at it. It's still got, for us, it's still going to be around for another million years.
Yeah.
But it's already gone.
But it's still going.
But that's the thing. So
next one, you look at that one, that's already gone.
Can you go back to that? Well, yeah, then I guess, no, I'm going to say theoretically, but I guess you can, yeah.
Okay, say he was born...
If on the light spectrum, you could travel backwards on the light spectrum, say.
If
you was going faster than that light, or the same speed as that light, then as it's coming towards you, you're going back. So you're going back in time, then, aren't you?
No. It's just everything's magic. Everything's energy, right? You can be in one place, bang, you're there. Bang, you're there. Bang, you don't have to go in. Bahamas, bang, you're there. I'm at Bahamas now, bang, because I want to be there. And that's what spirit do. You know, it's not like waiting for you, getting on a bus, and then getting onto a plane, you know, and they're waiting all hours and whatever.
The only problem is there'd be so many people.
I mean, look at the Stonehenges. What Stonehenges?
That's the problem, see, because
you know you've got so many stories.
If you looked at the population,
you know, they're
in the 1700s, it'd probably be like I want to be less than 1 billion people on the planet.
What?
In like the 1700s or whatever.
Yeah, no, it's a classroom. You're here to learn certain
where
lessons,
do all these people
and then you move
go?
on.
Where do all these people go?
They move on.
Yeah,
the billion that was in 1700s is now living here. You just
so what do they say then? To the people who give you the choice say,
no.
Where do you want to go? Let me have a look.
We've
got no free space in the 1700s. Would you like to go to 1900s?
There's no space.
Be a pig farmer.
Yeah, this is bullshit about everything's covered crows in it. There's fucking millions of acres, especially people who play golf. You know, that's where the homeless and stuff has gone, isn't it? Anyway. What I'm saying is, if you had to learn, say you was old to children, nasty, but in the next life you had to learn, someone had to do that to you. You had to learn that lesson not to be cruel to children. Okay? Now
it's not me that needs to learn a lesson. It's the guy who's doing it, isn't it?
No, you. What? No. I'm saying if you was that guy, okay, and you were to come back as a really.
I was the guy who's cruel to children.
So you got to come back as a child.
Don't bring him back.
What?
Don't bring that guy back.
No,
who makes the choice? No, they don't.
You
they
have
don't.
to.
No,
you can't move
on.
If
I'm in charge, of sending these souls everywhere,
you've got baggage, man.
I just say you're not going back.
No,
you're obviously not right. We're going to destroy you.
That was a balance. You can't move on until you've learned that you cannot be like that to children. So you got next life. You'll be a child. It'll be a bit of be rough for you.
No,
but in these days, you know, what these days, eh? These days are sick, mate. Come on, they are. They're not.
Yeah, but that.
Days.
So that.
In 1700s, you could do anything, right? To anything.
Yeah, but that proves you're wrong.
And just turn it a blind
surely
eye.
people everyone would have been through this cycle where they would have learned this good
there's
shit.
A lot. You go on. What people are still learning, mate? People.
If they're still learning and we're 1,000 years down the line, then it ain't going to work, is it?
No, well, it'll keep going until you do.
Yeah.
There's no time. Time is man-made. Man is the only creature that measures something that don't exist. Time. It don't exist, mate.
The money.
It's made to control people. Time to go to work and time to go to sleep. It does not exist. So you could be here millions of years, go around and they're not bothered. You can't die. You're immortal. You'd never die. So they get boring. You need that. Don't take the baggage.
I don't know if entropy would agree with that.
Who? I'm sorry. The universe is working for you. Some people are working against it, mate. Work with it.
Anyway, let's listen to Bob's story.
Right, okay, yeah, listen to Bob. And then I'll tell you about this. Say again, I was going to tell you about that do-it-yourself exorcism. Let's say Bob's story.
Let's do
first.
Bob's and then we'll do the exorcism.
Yeah, okay. Here comes Bob.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about where this happened and go from there?
Right, yeah. So I'm from Utah in the United States. And so I was going to college. It's about 2.5 hour drive from my hometown. And so it's a really rural drive on the way back, a lot of canyons and stuff like that. You don't pass through any towns on this drive. And so I was on this one road that's right next, it's called Indian Canyon. And it's a small road right next to that. And so I was alone driving back to home. And there's a long stretch of road on there, and then it kind of goes over a hill. I remember there was a white pickup truck ahead of me a little ways, probably 200 or 300 yards, I would say. And as it starts to go over this hill, there was something small, I think a rabbit, running across the road. And then what was behind it, I have no idea what it was, but it really freaked me out. It was, guessing by the height of the truck that was in front of it, probably around 7 foot tall. And it was really skinny and black, just straight black, walking on two legs. I remember the one thing that I noticed the most was how long its arms were. Its arms were almost nearly down to the ground. And it just followed this right across the road very quickly. And then when I got up to that point on the road, I looked off to the side to see if I could see it, and there wasn't anything off the side of the road there. It was just really tall, black, skinny figure. I don't remember what the head looks like. I think it had more of a kind of like a dog, wolf, man almost type head, but I don't really remember. My main focus was on the arms, and it happened so quickly. It just shot right across the road in the middle of the day.
Okay, so this was, daylight.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, did it have? I mean, could you make out a tail or?
Not that I can remember. I don't remember there being a tail. This has been probably 3-4 years ago.
Okay.
I don't remember a tail, but I just remember tall, skinny, dark figure walking on two legs just shoot across the road after this rabbit, I think it was.
Yeah, and it was bipedal?
Yes, it was.
Okay, did it go on all fours at any time?
Not that I saw it, no.
Okay, and I was going to say, what sort of speed was it moving? Was it?
It was very quick. It would have crossed the road, and this is a pretty narrow road. It's just narrow enough it's a back road. Not a lot of people travel it, and it just cuts like 20 minutes off the drive. And so there's not really any upkeep on it. It's a really bumpy old road that you've got just enough for two cars to pass on it.
Yeah.
And it cleared it in just a couple steps, if I'm remembering right. It was very quick.
So what are we talking about? Maybe a 12, 14 feet road, something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
So
yeah.
it's that 7 foot strides?
About, I would say, close to that. Yeah.
I mean, that rules out a lot of things right there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
What about the actual makeup of the animal? I mean, did it have hair, fur? Did it have anything?
Not that I could see. It looked really skeletal, kind of just really thin. That's all I really noticed about it. I didn't notice any hair or anything.
Okay, and it was jet black, so its skin was...
Mm-hmm. It was. And then there's another... This kind of freaked me out. I never told anyone, aside from my family, didn't tell anyone this. Mm. And they joked around talking about how I'd seen a skinwalker and all that stuff, because that's a big thing around here. Yes. But, so there was another point on the drive home called Soldier Summit. And it got that from... During the American Civil War, Abraham Lincoln sent some Union troops over to Utah to inspect these rumors of they called it a Mormon militia, to inspect these rumors. And then when they were on their way back east, they got stuck at Soldier Summit in a snowstorm and died. A lot of them died. And so there was just a thing on the news that one of the road cameras had caught a ghost on it. And I was talking about that with my roommates, and we were talking about another road that's in the area of the college town that I had been told never to drive on, because I've had family see like girls in white dresses on the road, weird stuff. And so another when my roommate starts talking about this road, because he lived in the area, and he said that he had seen something on that road that he explained it similar to what I saw. He said really tall, skinny, but he described it as white, and it crossed the road at night in front of him. And I had never told him about this experience that I had had before until after he told me about that. And then I told him that I had seen something similar. So, and it's quite a distance. It's probably about 100 miles from where I saw it and where he said he saw this.
Okay. Well, that road sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, and my dad used to be a truck driver, and when I told him what I saw, he'd make fun of me all the time. He said, I've been driving that road since before you were born, and I've never seen anything on it. But
I imagine that if these things are out there, and you know what you saw, I imagine that, like, the example you gave there where you talk to people and obviously they ridicule you, and I wonder how many people actually see these things and don't report it.
Yeah, exactly. I've only told a few close friends and my family, and my dad still jokes around about it. My sister has seen some other weird things too. I've seen some strange things, but I couldn't explain that. It wasn't quite as big of an experience as this was, and they just joke around with me and say that I'm seeing skinwalkers and stuff, just laughing it off. But
yeah, I know. I spoke to you before we started about the whole skinwalker idea, and I think there's something to it. I think the fact that it seems to crop up in so many different cultures makes me a little bit more accepting of it, and I obviously mentioned to you before about people in England. It seems like it's just an English thing. I mean, people can let me know if it's not, but in England, if we've got a bad back or this kind of thing, we'll wear like a copper bracelet, and that's meant to. I'm not quite sure how it works. I don't know if it's maybe doing something with the circulation, or if it's just feeding your body copper, or I don't know exactly how it works. But or maybe it's affecting your magnetic field, your aura, if you want to go that far. But we wear this copper bracelet, and it's meant to relieve a bad back. And obviously, people wearing the cloak or the skin of an animal and taking on that. That beast's mentality. You get the berserkers in the Viking culture. They were that's what they did. They put on the bearskin and just went mental on the battlefield. So maybe there's something to it. Maybe we can, just by osmosis, being in close proximity to these things, become these things. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't seem like a very difficult experiment to carry out, but whether science would be interested in that, I don't know. How did the whole experience leave you feeling afterwards? Because obviously, I imagine you go through this period of doubting yourself. Did I really see it? Which is quite common. But how did you feel? After that period.
Right. Like there was definitely that period of doubt. Like, did I really just see what I thought I saw? Like, what could that have been? I'm trying to figure out, like, there's not any animals like that around here, obviously. And, like, it just left, like, a pit in my stomach. I just felt sick. I just kept driving. Like, I looked off the side of the road to see if I could see it, but obviously I wasn't going to stop. I'm getting out of here. And, right, just, like, a sick feeling, pretty much. Like,
do you think, at any point, did the creature acknowledge you?
No, it just ran across the road. Its attention seemed to be on this rabbit or whatever it was, and just bolted right across the road.
And what about the vehicle ahead of you? Do you think he may have seen it?
I don't know. 'Cause, being from such a rural area, a lot of us know each other, but I've run into people I know on that road before, but I didn't recognize the vehicle, so I don't really have any way to find out for sure. But the truck definitely didn't stop. They kept going too. I don't know if they would have seen that or not.
Yeah,
because it was behind them.
Yeah,
but not very far behind them. It was maybe 20, 30 yards behind them at this time.
Yeah, so relatively close, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But indeed, they probably wouldn't stop either if they'd seen it, so...
Yeah.
But, hey, you never know, someone from that area in Utah may be listening to this and may have seen something similar, maybe get in contact with us, and then, you know... I mean, is it something you've looked into since you've seen it? Have you looked for stories in the area, or...?
No, not really. I've just heard the general Skinwalker stuff from that Skinwalker Ranch, which has a lot of UFO activity and poltergeist and Skinwalker, all sorts of weird stuff going on there, is nearby. And so I hear stuff from there, and they talk about large wolves, but from what they talk about, they're all on all fours. So I haven't... There is something interesting I just found out yesterday, though, when looking a little bit more into Skinwalker Ranch. There's actually a ridge in Skinwalker Ranch, or right behind it, that they call Werewolf Ridge, and it's been called that for a long time. I don't know how long, but that's kind of an interesting name for something. There's got to be a reason. I don't know really any history behind it.
But I mean, these places tend to get names due to events, or there's normally a reason places get the name. I mean, you get a lot of these places. Devil's this, Devil's that, Devil's Creek, Devil's this, Devil's Mountain. Yeah. And they're not named that just because, I mean, some of them may look like the devil, I don't know, but and they're not normally named that just because they look vaguely like the devil. It's normally something that's happened there in the past, so, you've obviously got them in that area. I mean, Skinwalker Ranch, like you say, is, there's many cases, so you're not alone, in seeing it in that area, and hopefully, like I say, people will come forward now and share their encounters, and then do some sort of validation for you. So
yeah, I haven't really had any friends share any experiences that they've had. When I've talked to them about this, they've had some weird experiences, but nothing like this that I think would be related to Skinwalker that I know of.
Yeah,
but.
What about the road itself? As you travel down it again, or do you give it a wide berth now?
I travel down it. I've avoided doing it at night. I've only driven it maybe twice since at night. Also, I was only 20 at the time, so I couldn't own a handgun, but I do own a handgun now, and I keep that with me. Not that would really help, but like when I'm driving, I've always got that in the truck.
Yeah. As long as it's loaded with silver bullets or something.
Yeah.
So I don't blame you. But well, it's interesting. I mean, like we said before, I think a lot more people, particularly in this country, we don't tend to talk about these things, and I know a lot more people have seen these types of creatures in this country than don't come forward. So I presume it's the same in the States as well. So
yeah, and there's a really weird, there's a real stigma about talking about skinwalkers around here, especially living right next to a Ute reservation, which Skinwalker is mainly Navajo, but there's a story about this feuding between Utes and Navajo, and they say that the Navajo put the curse of the Skinwalker on the Utes, something like that. But you don't talk about it, and even a lot of the older white people here, you don't talk about Skinwalkers around them. They will tell you, they will stop you and tell you don't talk about that, because there's just this huge stigma around it. There's something to it.
I think from doing research into it before, I think it was something along the lines of if you talk about it too much, you almost bring it upon yourself. Like these old, these urban legends that we used to have in, like the Candyman. You go in the mirror and you say it, and this sort of thing. And it's one of those sorts of beliefs. I think if you talk about it too much, it can, it can almost come looking for you. So
yeah, that's definitely, I've heard that a lot of people say that with the Skinwalker, but a lot of the younger people don't have any problem talking about it. It's the older people or the Native Americans that don't talk about it at all.
Yeah, I think we've lost touch with with a lot of these things over the years. So, but they seem to be on the rise, so that's worrying, I suppose. from that aspect.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now, interesting. If anything else happens, hit me up. I'd be interested to know.
Yeah, definitely. And it doesn't just have to be cryptids. I've heard stories from friends, anything, and had my own experiences with weird kind of ghosts. I haven't had any UFO experiences that I can recall, but I have friends who have told me about some. I'd love to share them another time if you're interested. But.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, have you got them to hand? I mean, do you want to do it now? Or?
Oh, sure. What do you want? I can talk about some of my own weird ghost experiences, I guess.
Yeah.
So I live in a house that my parents have built. So it's been built. It's only about 10 years old. It's a relatively new house, which doesn't make sense with the stuff that's been going on in the house. That I've noticed. It's not really been a nuisance, and it hasn't been a problem for a while. This is mostly probably 9-8 years ago when I was still in high school that a lot of this happened. There was one night where it was probably 2-3 a.m. It was a school night, so I'm trying to sleep, but I've got 2 dogs in my room, and they're just freaking out. I have one of my older dogs is up on the bed because she couldn't jump down and back up on the bed, and then the younger dog was scratching at the door, and they were both like barking and really not having it. And I just kept telling them to shut up, let me go to sleep, whatever. And then I heard, I don't even know how to explain it. There was a really deep, loud voice, but it wasn't English. I don't know what language it was. But after that, the dog on my bed hid under my blanket, and the other dog jumped up and hid under my blanket too. And so I joined them, obviously. like I don't want to know what that was. There's another experience. I've got on my headboard, there's a drawer right above my head in the middle on my bed. And it was loaded down with stuff, like completely full. And I just woke up. This was back around the same time. Woke up in the middle of the night, and the drawer was completely out. So it had been lifted off of the rails and was sitting down on like my legs, my thighs, was laying on me with everything still inside of it. And I have no idea how it could have gotten out of the drawer and off the rails naturally.
Yeah, that's weird.
I haven't had any problems with it opening since. I guess most recently at night I'll hear weird, almost like an alarm clock going off, but it's without the bells, like one of those old alarm clocks. And so what I've figured out that it is, and it still happens sometimes, and it'll go and kind of ring, like vibrate my headboard, and I'll move my arm or something and it'll stop, and then I'll move it back and it'll get going again. But one time I decided to figure out what it was because it was just annoying me. I'm trying to sleep. And it's actually this stein, a beer stein that my parents had got me from the Black Forest in Germany that's got a music box in it. And so when I picked it up, the music actually started playing in the music box. And I waited and let it play through its thing and put it back and went to bed. But it'll still do that. I haven't lifted it up since to see if it plays again, but I'll still get that noise sometimes. But other than that, I haven't really had too many experiences that I can remember other than those 3.
Well, I mean, the draw is strange. I mean, it just obviously you can't fall out and then land on your legs with all the contents still inside. I don't imagine that would ever happen. I mean, obviously you can't rule out sleepwalking. I guess you could have took it out, but I can't. It's a bit elaborate for a sleepwalking experience.
Right, and I used to have a lot of problems with sleepwalking when I was younger, but it hasn't been a problem lately, and I don't know. It easily could have been that, but it's still something really weird that I can't really explain other than maybe I was sleepwalking and did it myself, but I don't know why.
Yeah, well. Did you say you had a UFO? Someone had told you a UFO story?
Yeah, one of my close friends from high school, we were both in high school at this time, and played basketball together. And it was after, I don't remember if it was after a late night practice or a game, but he was heading home, and he lived probably 10 miles outside of town and on the state park. His dad's a park ranger. And so they were heading up that way to their house. And he said that him and his mom and maybe his sister, I don't remember, had all saw like a blue light in the sky off to the side. And when they all noticed it, it just kind of disappeared in a flash, and a bright blue flash. And then when they got to their house, he said he told his dad what they saw, and they went outside and were kind of looking, and they said that they never gave a specific number, but they said some helicopters flew by.
Oh, yeah.
This is probably 9-10 at night.
Yeah, now I've seen something very similar. But it was jets.
Mm-hmm.
But the strange thing about the jets was, obviously I saw this orange. All I can describe it as an orange ball of light, and it was quite intense. And obviously I spotted out the corner of my eye, and I turned to look at it, and I thought, that's unusual. And then I noticed silhouetted against the darkness 2 jets flying over the top of the road where I was driving under, but they had no lights on. Which was, unusual. And they flew out to this orange object, and then this object just blinked out, like you mentioned there. And then obviously they just returned back to base. I saw them do a loop, and then as they was going back and they crossed the road, they put the lights on again. So, it's strange.
I mean, where I'm from, it's not uncommon for UFOs to be sighted. Like I said, with Skinwalker Ranch so near, like it's kind of a hotbed for that sort of thing. Skinwalker Ranch is more known for UFO sightings than anything, which is strange. But I've actually heard theories that they say it might be like some portal or something.
Yeah.
There, but I don't know about that. But UFOs are kind of a common thing to see out here.
Now it seems like the activity in that area has been going back a sight longer than the ranch, so maybe the area is just one of them hotbeds. You just get them everywhere. Like we've got one in England. The Cannock Chase is a good example. A lot of things happen there. UFOs, cryptid sightings, all kinds of stuff. So ghost sightings. So you just get these hotbeds from place to place. I don't know why. But they do happen. So,
I mean, the activity in the ranch has been reported back to, I think, like 1880, which is nothing compared to how old things are in the UK. But for the United States, that's pretty far back in our history.
Yeah.
There's been these strange things happening there.
Well, cool. I mean, like I say, if anything else happens, then make sure you let us know.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And well, thank you very much for joining us.
Yep, thank you.
And have a great rest of the week.
You too, thank you.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Right, that's from Mr. B. I thought it was quite very good. What do you reckon, mate?
Yeah, interesting. And these roadside crossings, okay, someone asked me the other day about this. Why do Bigfoot choose to run across the road at the times they do? Okay, so you're travelling down the road.
Yep.
It chooses to run across at that moment. If it waits 10 seconds, you've gone past, it could cross, you'd never see it. Right?
Right.
So they're saying to me, well, why do you... Well, it doesn't make sense. If it's that intelligent, then it can hide from mankind, blah, blah, blah. It wouldn't do that. And to some extent, they're right. Because you think, well, yeah, that is illogical. And I was trying to think, well, why did it do it? And the only reason I can come up with, well, there's two, I suppose. They could be doing it because...
They don't give a shit.
Yeah, and they're doing it for shits and giggles,
yeah, that's it, yeah.
They run
like
across...
a child.
Yeah.
What do you call it? Chicken.
3 years ago, there was that case where that creature run across and slap. That was a dog man, but it run across the road and slapped that car that it run past. Do you remember that?
No.
Yeah, it run out. The guy was driving along and it was at the side of the road, and as he's driving along, he's seen it and it's clocked him. Both made eye contact, and then as he's gone past it, it's run back, from one side of the road to the other side of the road, and as it's gone past him, it's just slapped the back of his car, and he nearly lost control of his car.
Power.
And then it run into the woods, and that was it. So obviously, in that occasion, it deliberately did it.
Of course it did. Yeah.
But what I think it is with the Bigfoot, and I think you'll see this time and time again with them when people are filming them, when people are not filming them necessarily, but out in the woods, they think our eyes are as good as theirs. Okay, so on the roadside crossings, I think when you get that close to them, they think you've seen them anyway. Do you know what I mean? So now they're running from this piece of cover that they're in to find another piece of cover.
Sorry, mate. Hello? Dal, I'm starting the show, Dal. What's up? I will do. Okay. Bye. Let's have to take your phone off, mate. Sorry about that.
Yeah, so they're running from... So, so when you're approaching them, they're in cover here.
Yep.
But as you get closer to them, they think they've been seen. Because they don't understand, maybe they don't understand that we can't actually see them. Because they think maybe our eyes are as good as theirs. Okay, so now he thinks, oh shit, I've been spotted. So now he moves to another, where he's going to go anyway. This is the location he wanted to go. And now he's going to go just do it because you've already seen him. And in their opinion, you've already seen him.
But again, I think there's a code with his again, my opinion, and I'll let you agree as well. These beings or entities have been here since before we came. They lived here before we came. We're just a throw off from the Bigfoot. That's my take. They've been here much longer. They're more belong. We're the aliens. I think they belong with the Earth. That's why they can follow the Earth, the ley lines. The energies. They're more in tune with nature. They're more in tune with the ley lines than man, or most man. So they can hide, and they're in more tune with Mother Earth than us. And I think there's a code. I think, you keep to your side, I keep to my side. If I clock you, you clock me. Little slap, whatever. We've had loads of stories about Bigfoot and Dogman interacting. I think very, very rare is when again, it's my opinion, it's not many deaths. But again, if you drew first blood, stories we've heard as well, many times. But there's always a runt in the litter, isn't there? There's always one that doesn't go against code or ethic, which I found out. But I think these creatures are very, very intelligent, and I think they're very, very psychic. And they know I think they know you're coming before even you go into the woods. They know your intentions, and that's why they're so in tuned. So I think when me and you go, I will be a bit apprehensive, but they will know me and you are there. Again, it's just, I think it's motive. Why are we going in that forest for? The motive, not to harm anything, not do any damage. We're just there to investigation. I think we'll be okay, mate. But there's many times where accounts I've heard of people going in. Again, this is fantastic to me. It's logical. They're going with guns and they're firing guns at them and they're laughing at them. You go with a big knife, they back off. Why? Why? Because then it's 1-to-1. The bullets, obviously they must be hard-skinned or something, whatever, that might do a little bit of damage, but not much. You go with a big knife, it'll kill you, you're going to die. But your essence is going to say, if I'm going to die, I'm going to take some of you with me. And a knife can do damage. So, we've had this before, some of these accounts, but I think these are very intelligent creatures, and I'm not saying they're gentle creatures. People make out it's like what was that one, of the Hendersons, isn't it? They're lovey-dovey and all that. I think, no, they are dangerous. They can be very dangerous.
I think they can,
moody as well. So, definitely. But it was definitely a good story, mate. Definitely a good story.
Right, let's just do these reviews. So that sex ghost, we'll have to put that. We'll do that on Patreon, yeah?
Do pay everyone. Yeah, okay, mate, yeah. Fairies.
Do that as well on there.
Okay, yeah. Can I go do my as well?
Yeah, do you want to do that?
Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, I mean, obviously, this has been waiting ages for us because there's been this couple about doing a do-it-yourself exorcism. Right, this happened actually round the corner from us. It's actually Laceby Road in Grimsby, down us. The headlines read, Nurse Kelly Wilson left critically ill by exorcism at pain clinic on Laceby Road. Actually, that's the name of my doctor's right now. He's a witch doctor. Anyway, a woman left critically ill in hospital was involved in an exorcism to get rid of evil spirits haunting her body. Former NHS nurse Kelly Wilson suffered organ failure in the incident, which is claimed was to remove supernatural spirits or demons from her body. Right, Mrs. Wilson's partner, Hossam Metwali, he wasn't English then, he was an anaesthetist at Grimsby Dinah Princess of Wales Hospital, appeared in court yesterday, charged with causing GBH and administering a noxious substance. He didn't say what substance it was, by the way.
Well,
the charge in court related to an incident that I believe had taken place at the Links Pain Clinic in Laceby between Tuesday, July 2nd and Friday, July the 5th. Right, okay. Metwally 58 and Miss Wilson are listed as directors at the pain clinic, so obviously it's their place. And where Miss Wilson was discovered seriously ill on Friday afternoon. She was taken to hospital by ambulance from the clinic, and concerned staff there raised the alarm with the police. Right, anyway, she remained in a stable but critical condition, and a number of bags of evidence were seen being removed from property. Now, these, I think, are hallucinatory drugs or some kind of drugs to make you, away with the fairies. Again, negatives love this. This is how they can attach to you. You are then, you can then be influenced by these. So anyway, right. Metwally, father two, was originally from Egypt, but he's worked in Grimsby for 20 years, appeared emotionless in court. Yeah, I'm not surprised he appeared emotionless. I bet they want him as well. Metwally has a degree in pain management from Leicester University. He also does acupuncture, electro-acupuncture and cupping. I don't know what cupping is.
Not what detoxing.
Is it detoxing? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Neighbours said although Miss Wilson has moved into property in Laceby, she has not been seen for some time. So what's happened here is they've been taking drugs.
Well,
taking drugs again. Taking drugs, it's like a light coming on.
No, I would say
realms. They see you're taking drugs. They get off it because the effects you get off the drugs, negative, feed off it.
I would say
bang, bang,
it's
bang,
one of these, like you say, these people who do these exorcisms where they read up online how to do it, and I need this and this and that, and then obviously what he's done, he's got all these ingredients together.
They found out
they've probably burnt, it's made them into essence, by burning them or whatever.
It's black magic.
And then it's
all black magic.
A toxic, become a toxic gas, nerve agent, whatever.
Yeah, possible. And then they're going through this thing, and then they say, look, then things start happening in the house. I know I can make this brief. I will try and maybe one day tell a true story about it, the full story. These negative beings was in the attic, this place where they would not let me in. It wasn't her wouldn't let me in. It's a negative wouldn't let me in. But that I sensed they was in the attic, and there's quite a few of them waiting there. And they hide there until they was on the drugs, and they came down. They fed off these two couple. Again, this is what I think what's happened. And they think, oh well, we'll do this. So this do-it-yourself exorcism doesn't work.
No. If you get the wrong ingredients, then you could end up in hospital.
Critically.
Yeah. Because if you burn the wrong substances, then you're running the risk, aren't you?
Yeah. Again, can I just say briefly as well? There is a way to, again, a priest. Again, you know my views on this. I don't believe in that stuff. If you feel sometimes you feel afraid or feel something there, it's not very nice. Call upon your loved one in the spirit. Call upon the loved one who was the most big man, muscly, and didn't give a shit. Call upon him to knock shit out of him. And you think, oh, you're nuts, I've lost it. No, I haven't, because if you're a big man and a big strong man in this life, you'll be a big man, strong man in the next. That's it. There's nothing that goes like that. You know, if you had my dad was 6 foot tall, whatever, and he had hands like shovels. I was afraid of my dad. You get older, I used to leg it, it's a run. You know, but if I feel faith sometimes, and, you know, because you can't, if a spirit came here now, start slapping you about, you couldn't grasp it, you'll be grasping air. You couldn't do it because it's on different vibration. You couldn't do it. You'd run. The only person who could do it for you is your man. He can come in exactly the same as the spirit comes in for the ether. Your man comes in as well. Gets the spirit, slaps it about a bit, it's gone. You have to, again, I'm not saying every time. It doesn't, I'm not all the time. Most time it will, because it's intent. But these people, the reason why it's girls in hospital is because of the drugs. That's the problem, isn't it? You take drugs, you know, and you wave everything, and, you know, that's it. And they come in and they feed off it. It's like a drunk. Negative will come in and drink on that. They'll feed off the drunk. So,
well,
you know, so please don't do it. Never.
I've been drunk plenty of times.
Yeah, I know, but again, I think it's when you're an alcoholic, when you drink 24/7.
But that
and your life is drink.
But
we don't do that. You drink.
No, that comes back to a chemical imbalance again, doesn't it?
No, it comes to intent, and you want to be an alcoholic, or you know. I mean, I used to smoke, as you know, mate, and I've been stopped nearly 8 months, and I feel great. I don't feel any better for it yet, anyway. But I'll never do it again. But it's a drug that your body wants because you want it. I'm clean of it now, but I do drink a couple of beers here and there. Yeah, absolutely, definitely. But I'll never ever take drugs. Never take drugs. You know, I'll never do it.
Well, you would.
What for?
What, like painkillers?
No.
You wouldn't take painkillers?
I don't take painkillers. I very rarely take painkillers.
So if you had a cold, you wouldn't take antibiotics?
Then? Oh, I'll take medicine. Oh, absolutely.
Well,
yeah.
what's the difference?
What?
So what you're saying is...
I'm talking about crack, and I'm talking about drugs. Yeah, but that are detrimental to the body and the spirit body. They're detrimental,
there's drugs that are illegal that are probably more beneficial than drugs that we take.
No,
they have less side effects than drugs that we take from the pharmacy.
Yeah, but I'm saying drugs, what pharmacy you think are helping your body get over a bug or a serious illness. What I'm saying is drugs that are detrimental to your body. And what affects your body affects your spirit body. And what affects your spirit body, why do you think, how are these negative energies, right, or negative beings, or demons, not demons, some little 4 foot little shits, you know what I mean? Again, I'm not to go into that. But they can't hold on to your physical body. They can't. It's different vibration. They can hold on to your aura. And if I had a camera, right? If I had a camera like this geezer's, yeah, what I've got here, well, I'll put this on Hangout, right? And I went to that girl who had been negative influenced by these negative beings, right? And I took a photo of her through that. You'd see them negative beings on that. Guaranteed. If I had a camera like that,
well,
I would. If I could take a picture of that girl, if I could take a picture of her, I could then. I reckon you could see.
I reckon you could.
I reckon you could.
I reckon.
No, I reckon you would. Because they are like limpets on a rock. They are attached to your aura, and they won't let go unless someone prizes them off. Honestly, you can. Although you're talking a lot of money for that kind of cameras. I mean, in Russia, they was first developed in Russia. You know, Russians developed that kind of camera. Yeah. I can't remember the guy who invented it, but he was the first one to do it. A Russian scientist invented that camera who actually could take pictures of your aura. I can't remember his name now. But again, what I'm saying is, these have, if you take drugs detrimental to your body, they will influence you to keep taking them. Why? Well, they want you to kill yourself, man.
Surely,
they love it.
Surely, yeah, but surely you've taken the drugs of your own volition first, haven't you? So
you've taken them as a recreation first, but then it gets out of hand, and then it gets detrimental to your body, like anything else. I mean, most people get out of it. You know, it's great. I've never, if I went in the house, what would have been? Would I have been attacked? Maybe. I've never got the chance. They wouldn't let me in. Again, if I'm going to meet, I've got a friend, Paul, who was with me at the time, and we tried to get in the house, and we eventually, she was behind the door, She wouldn't open the door, and it wasn't her who was saying you're not coming in. It was the negative, telling her not for her to let us in. We eventually go down the road to her mum's house, but again, I found all I did was pick a photo of her. I didn't know it was her, but I just picked a photo up and I knew it was her, and I just told the mother, and the mother broke down and told me the story. Anyway, what I'm saying is the drugs is what they go for. Look at all these mental institutions. They're going nuts, they're going mad. I see this. They are seeing it. They are seeing what they're saying. They're not nuts, not crazy. They're around there, and the feeding. That's one place I'd never like to go in. I don't think I'd go in. To do an investigation into a mental institution, I don't think I'd go in the doors. There's another one. I could do I was trying to show you. We'll do that one later another time. Which again, that one. Derby Jail. That looks fantastic, mate. Absolutely. This one, the Derby Jail, is amazing what they did. They just killed people daily. They didn't give a shite. They say, this is in the 1800s, 1817. There's baying crowds, loving it. It was like the matinee down here.
Oh, yeah.
Would you have this today? Would you get people out today, Lee? Watching people get hanged? Like it was like people going around like
you would, yeah.
Would you?
Yeah, I think you would.
Really?
Yeah, people watch these sick videos on online, don't they?
It's a sick, it says back in August 1817, 4 young men were dragged to the gallows looming in front of Derby Jail, right? They was jeered by a baying crowd. That's sick. It said they were hanged, each slowly choking to death at the end of a rope, mate. Do you know what the crime was? What was the crime?
Well, this was going to say, it depends.
They set fire to haystacks in a nearby village.
Yeah,
when I was little...
Yeah, I'd jeer for that.
I used to set fields alight, everything.
Oh, yeah, definitely jeer for taking you down the street.
I should have been hanged years ago. Well, I might have done that, I don't know.
Well, you probably did.
Maybe also did, it was a firebug. But they set fire to haystacks.
You didn't learn your lesson.
Hanged. And you're telling me it's, it says the men were just 4 of an estimated 86 men, women and children. Now, this is sick, mate. Right? Executed at Derby Jail, where the city's prison was housed between 1756 and 1846. Right? It's not just that. Apparently, some before that, who was meant to be hanged, died of diseases. Just died. It was all festered. Yeah. Other mates died of diseases that festered in the rank. Damp conditions all overcrowded prison. We can definitely do a show on Derby Jail. It's fantastic.
Meant to be really haunted.
Yeah, I'd like to get me and you like to get in there. It'd be fantastic. I don't mind that, but I don't think I'd go into a mental institute. What I'm saying is, what we've come now from 1800s to 2019. What's changed? Obviously, people, you don't hang children now and people. They do it quietly now on the internet. What's it called? Snuff movies.
Oh, yeah.
That is right. Now, it's all people now hiding it. It's trying to come out. And that people are just pushing away and hiding it. And, that's, to me, I mean, can you imagine you had a time machine, yeah?
No.
Me and you said, well, can go back 18, and we appeared behind a castle, and we actually went to see it hanging. I couldn't physically go and watch it. Could you? No. It'd hold me for the rest of my life. I wouldn't go. I'd go and see the gallows and the people there, but when it started, I'd have to move. I couldn't physically watch it with my eyes. It's just sick.
Yeah.
But the people them days, it was a day out. It was all getting hanged and all that.
Used to cut the rope up at the end and sell it as souvenirs, and if it was a political prisoner, or like if it was a French someone who caught from the French side or something, and you cut the rope up.
Of course, royalty in them days, they ruled everything, still do now, but they rule it behind the scenes. It's only hidden now that they think that you've got power, which you haven't. Anyway, so in them days, it was a thing to do.
Yeah.
If you people who was witches, there was demons. If you was a psychic, a psychic and you meet him, you was hanged or drawn and quartered, whatever, because you was a demon. That's a church for you, and it's still exactly the same today. But I'd love to do a show on the Gael. Anyway, do we get some reviews?
Yeah, let me do this.
Let's do the reviews, mate.
I go.
Yeah. Which one's that? I'm just find my one then. Right, I've got. Should I do a thumbs up? Are you doing that one? Or?
Yeah, you could do that one.
Well, I've got 5 stars. Thank you very much from thumbs up. Is it Stuart Sydenham? Thank you, Stuart. Anyway, it reads, great podcast, lads. I've recently started a podcast myself, so appreciate the hard work you guys put into the show. Keep up the good work. Stu from sunny Newcastle upon Tyne. Hey.
Yeah.
Just down the road then, Stu.
Great work. Skeptical yet open-minded, I guess that says. This is from Rick Higgs.
Yep.
5 stars. Loves listening to me. Looking forward to the next episode.
Oh, right, okay. Say no more then. You know what? Then you've edited some stuff out there. I'll leave you to more. Anyway, I've got here from Arma Sharma. 5 stars. Thank you very much. Great show. Good banter. Really enjoyed this podcast. Excellent attention to detail when researching facts, and feels like they are the type of lads you can have a beer with. Only gripe is, would really like more regular shows. This is what we've been saying. I know. Anyway, Tony Armstrong from Aberdeen, travelling down to 30 East Drive to spend the night on my first paranormal visit. Hey, good luck, Tony. I hope you get a load of stuff back from that
you'll
one.
have to let us know how that went.
Yeah, let us know, Tony, how you did, mate.
Somewhere where we're on about
absolutely good.
Going at some point.
Scotland's a fantastic place for investigations. Absolutely fantastic. And again, we
I think
We've been
I have
talking
to,
about
I have
couple
to
shows,
see how
haven't we?
much they charged them at each drive as well, because I know it's quite a bit.
Yeah, you have to let us know, Tony,
Quite
how much
expensive
they
now,
charge you, mate.
I don't know if we did this one or not. This average at best, 1-star one, by someone who calls him Master
No.
Steve.
Don't know, mate.
No, that's short for masturbator probably, but he said too much waffle, so he'll enjoy this episode. We won't be listening anyway. So.
Yeah, well, not be again.
Vague information, laddish banter that gets a bit tedious.
Well,
Let's swear for the sake of it, kind of thing.
well, no, we don't. The swearing is not meant to offend. We just ours is like crap, bullshit, whatever. But it's never to offend anybody. People know we are like.
Nah, fucking bothered. Anyway, it says delivery is a bit amateurish. Reading from scripts and stumble over words. Sorry, but not pleasurable listening. That's my honest opinion.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, okay.
Well, thanks for that.
Okay, go back to wherever you're gonna, where you came from. Anyway, I've got another one here from this one's 4 stars. New fave podcast, only after 2. It's from Neil. Anyway, love it. Nice to hear a good northern accent. Newly subscribed and about to hit a major binge. Listen on my stupidly long commute. Good job, lads. Thank you very much, Neil. I hope you keep on listening. We are again. We are going to try to bring out now a show now every week now if we can, can't we? I've got my spiritual stuff which I'm doing, my open circles.
Well, it's going to be every 10 days at the moment, isn't it? So.
If we can bring, we have got some great stories coming, and again we've got.
It's just busy, innit? Because
we're really busy.
We've got, the day job, which takes up quite a lot of time.
Of course, does. Yeah.
We're going around at these Bigfoot things at weekends now as well. So it is what it is. But hopefully, 10 days.
I'm doing a bit more. I'm doing open circle. I'm hopefully starting that from next week, but that's at night time. So.
Well, we'll report back on this mind, body, spirit shite, won't we?
Yeah, well, I'll get some photos, and I'll share the listens to some of my friends if they're still there. We'll get some pics and we'll put them on the line, and there's some good lectures coming from there as well. Again, crystals. There's a crystal, a fantastic crystal. Again, you see, so much you need to learn. You're going to have to come back about 5 times. You know Yeah, I'm sorry, mate. You're not getting it. You're going to have to come back next time. Do it again. So
anyway,
yeah.
On that, let's leave it there. And thank you very much for listening. Now we're going to record a Patreon show because we haven't done one for a while.
Yes, we're going to do one now, aren't we?
We'll do some shagging ghosts and fairies, eh?
Yes, pervy ghost who likes a bit of touch and feel. So
See, I go off on a tangent here, but surely there should be more of that going on if there's ghosts around us all the time.
No.
Huh?
No. It depends on the person.
If you was invisible, what would you do?
I'd never do that.
You wouldn't do that?
Never.
Bullshit.
Never,
so you won't...
See, when it's what I'm saying, you think that, it's like, when you go...
all right.
Oh, here you go.
The women's changing room.
What are you going to get out of that? Because you can't touch them.
Yeah, well, you can.
No,
you're only invisible.
Yeah. Some can see you, you know.
Right.
No, you wouldn't mind that anyway. No, but why look at that when you've got beautiful girls in spirit?
You're not the spirit, you're invisible.
But it's spirit world. Okay, let's call it...
so you won't rob a bank?
Going home. What would you rob a bank for? There's no money over there.
Well...
There's no money. Unless you're like killing and maiming, you'll go to the astral realms again.
You're just invisible.
What? Not all the time, you know. Yeah,
well, you are. You've taken a drug, you're invisible for 12 hours.
Right,
What do you do?
But you're still alive.
You're just invisible.
Well then.
You're not a ghost. You're not that ghost. You're just invisible. You are you. Take your clothes off. You're invisible. You're taking a pill, you've got 12 hours.
12 hours.
What do you do?
I'd go and pay for every girl, I suppose.
You said that and you said no.
No, you said when I die, you said when I go spirit, would I come in the atmosphere and look at pervy girls when I'm dead? Oh,
no, yeah.
I'm alive still, but I mean, if I'm still here, if I had a tablet which made me invisible, yes, I'd go into different places and but I wouldn't touch. I wouldn't do that. That's offensive, isn't it? Because I thought that'd be... Who knows? Some of these things are done, right? They're actually people invisible.
If I had 12 hours, I'd try and sneak in somewhere you're not supposed to be. So I'd try and get into into the bowels of Westminster or something, or Buckingham Palace or something like that.
Yeah, right then. Yeah, you'll be in the showers, right? You'll be in the swimming baths with the girls.
Yeah, we would do that on the way.
On the way, yeah.
Yeah,
but okay.
I mean, get in there, wouldn't you? And,
no.
You'd find out what's really going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, that'd be great, wouldn't it? That'd be fantastic. That again, also invisible. And you can watch, but you can't do it. We could, but I wouldn't do that.
Anyway, the point is, if there was ghosts, right, loads of ghosts, everyone was a ghost, then that pervy shit would be going on more than it does.
No, I'll tell you why. Guides.
Anyway, we'll leave that for Patreon. So
there you go.
If you aren't signed up for Patreon,
guides.
There's a good reason why you shouldn't.
Okay, not all the time. Again, depends on the person's, depends on his karma, on his what kind of mind state he's in. So yeah, okay.
Well, does it?
Of course it does.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yes. All right. Yeah.
So,
thank you very much for joining us. We'll get back to you next time. New show. It'll be hopefully a good one.
Yeah. Got some good guests coming on soon.
Yeah, got some very good guests coming on. I can't wait. I can't wait for Claire to come on. Oh, I love Claire. She's nice.
Claire, yeah.
And hopefully, I'm hoping maybe Maria Wheatley as well.
Hopefully, we're looking at some UFOs and dogmen and spirit realms. So,
yeah, got a mixed bag.
Fantastic. So, yeah, thank you very much, and have a great 10 days, if that's what it is, before I put the next show out. And, unless you've got Patreon, obviously, and then you'll be getting another show sooner.
Absolutely.
But if not, then we will see you on the other side.
Goodbye.
Well, they've gone. No, just for now. It wasn't the right time for us to meet. But there'll be other nights, other stars for us to watch. They'll be back.